Okay, it is now raining heavily here on Sunday. It was raining pretty much all day, but now it's really coming down. I think it just came down 10 minutes ago around 9:30. Basically, I'm not exactly sad about it because, like I said, it's not. It's actually cooling down the has been cooling down the city a little bit, and it has been pretty much a comfortable weather these last few days. So yeah, I'm not really don't pay no mind because who knows, after this week we might have like 7 days of hot weather. So I'll leave it as that. I'm not even gonna complain about it. But let's get on to why I have this vlog in the first place. As you guys well know, those who are big soap opera fans, two more soaps will be given the axe. One is given the axe around September. Another one will be given the axe around somewhere next year. I think January, I believe. And I'm gonna be honest with you, even though I am disappointed to see one of my favorite soap, All My Children, finally being taken off the air. I'm not gonna say I'm surprised, and to be honest with you, with the way television is now and the way cable, especially cable and satellite, have changed the way we view things, it was only a matter of time before these shows finally end their run. And one of the following reasons why it's ending their run is the kids who grew up, like one of mine, wasn't forced to watch these shows. When I was little, my mom had, made it very clear from 1 to 3 o'clock, she's watching her soaps. Her soaps, even from like the 12:30 slot, she would watch the shows that she loved. She can tell you everything that's going on in the soap world because she never missed an episode. That's how much of a soap fan she was. I remember her watching Ryan's Hope. I remember her watching All My Children, General Hospital, Guiding Light. There were other family members who watched As the World Turns. These were airy, Young and the Restless. These were, people who really forced me to watch a show and that I did not like. As a kid, I hated soaps. I thought it was boring. It made no sense. Everything looked too weird and pretty. It wasn't until I gotten older and started watching soaps for myself. I think when I started to watch soaps is when I think there was a big issue between Erica Kane and her daughter, her soon-to-be ex-husband. I've gotten wind that she was having an affair with Jackson Montgomery, which led to a very nasty, bitter trial. And Bianca, who was upset, was the deciding factor. She didn't want to live with her mother anymore because she was hurt that she had an affair with her uncle, which led to a whole nasty bit of war. It was then she was upset with Jack Montgomery, which blaming her for losing her kids, and and then they broke it off. And to my surprise, that would be more than one time that they were actually be on an on relationship. But that got me hooked into the soaps. What other got me hooked with All My Children was the Billy Clyde Tuggle situation with his daughter, Haley Vaughn coming to Pine Valley. Brooke English. There was a story to be told, and that story really was the driving force of what was going on. So I got hooked. But I'm gonna be honest with you. It wasn't for the fact that my mom forced me to sit through those soaps when I was little. I probably wouldn't give a damn about these soaps now. And that is pretty much what's happening with the soap opera industry. Is that there is no next generation audiences, and that's partially because of no parents forcing their little one to sit through the TV and watch these soap operas, and two, it is almost nearly impossible to get attached to these characters because they keep killing them off. That was one of the reasons why I stopped watching soaps altogether when I had the time, and and my work schedule pretty much made me watch soaps. But when they started killing off favorite characters, it was hard to get attached to the characters, and they really didn't make a business to draw the younger crowd who really could have sat down through this and sit through these shows and give it a chance to grow. The young crowd was not there as the years went on, and that's what happened to all my children. Their ratings, along with some really bad storylines, just caused them to drop dramatically to the point where it was now reaching the 1 million mark or less. So hearing them getting canceled didn't surprise me, but it did sadden me. Even with the new studio that they moved to Los Angeles, it did sadden me. But the thing was, the newer characters, it was almost impossible to really grow an attachment to them, because you pretty much it was almost like a guarantee that they were going to be gone, and it's still going on right now, where people are being fired or getting killed off just out of the bloom. So to draw in that new crowd, there's really nothing to pull that new crowd in, and being the fact that parents now of little ones are not really forcing them to watch these shows, and some of them are not also giving up on the show entirely themselves. They are losing the fanship is not as strong as it was. Another thing, cable, there's more option now. During the 70s and 80s, you basically free TV dominated. The cable was still new, and to be very fair and honest with you, you only really had a few channels. I remember growing up watching HBO and WHT, which WHT no longer exists. MTV started coming around, but then other shows started coming out. You had Cinemax, Nickelodeon started coming in, and then you have other shows like TNA, TNT, or TBS, USA. Other networks started coming in, and as the cable industry grew, the quality of free TV shrunk. I mean, what's really, to be honest with you, from at least until from 5 in the morning to 8 o'clock at night, what's in between those shows that's really worth watching, unless you're a Jerry Springer fan or a Murray fan, or AKA Who's the Father or Who's the Daddy, whatever you want to call it, the same damn thing. On the top of all that, what's really in those time slots in any free channel that's worth really sitting down and watching? There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. There's more stuff I can watch on cable. I can watch a movie. I can watch a TV film. I can watch a show that's on Sci-Fi, USA. I can watch more better quality shows on all those channels than watching it on free TV, because on free TV I'm going to get the following: talk shows or court shows. That's it. I mean, so then you got soaps, but if the soap is not good quality and I'm not interested in the characters, they become useless. So that was the big issue. The quality of shows just is not there on free TV anymore, with the exception of probably prime time, and they have to have good shows on prime time. But even with prime time, it's starting to fall in that category, because let's be honest, what is mostly dominating prime time free TV? Reality shows. That's what they are, and that's one of the things that is hurting them right now. Another thing is that really hurt the soap operas is American soaps never ended, so it just keeps going. And what ended up happening with these soaps, they're going to recycle another story. This guy is this guy's father. This woman is actually the mother of this woman. She's evil and she's trying to plot. How much more can we actually go through the same storyline, and with little or no repercussion towards the people who's committing these crimes, other than getting killed off? They rarely go to jail. I think there's only a few times in my watching soaps that actually the person go to jail. But let's be honest, if you really want to look at it, Adam should have been in prison for life for all his stuff. He one of my favorite characters, Palmer Courtland, may God rest his soul, he should have been in jail for some of the stuff he's doing. So there's really no repercussion. And the fact that they kept recycling the story over and over again, it becomes pretty much old news. And that's pretty much why I see it. I mean, I can easily tell, they're going to make this the person who's the daughter. How this happened, I don't know. They're going to probably put something there that we never heard before, and that's it. But that's my feeling on these soaps. And it is going to be sad, because right now, once those two soaps gone, you can make. It's going to be pretty much 3 soaps left. I think there's one in General. One will be General Hospital. That's the only soap I can pretty much going to be on ABC. And I think the other 2 is on NBC. Pretty much that's it. I mean, that's how close that soap operas are on the verge of extinction in free TV. Now, I don't know about Spanish. Spanish soaps pretty much seem to have a more stronger hold. But the one thing about Spanish soaps that they do that American soaps do not, or at least primetime TV soaps, the Spanish soaps, they have an ending. I mean, you see it, you know there's a plot twist, you know something's going on, and then it has a conclusion. That's it. There is no, constant year round. I think the longest running soap, I think, was Ugly Betty. I think it ran for almost a year and a half. That was the only one. I mean, and it was so successful that Ugly Betty had an American primetime television debut. Not a soap opera, but a primetime debut. I think it aired on Saturday. I mean, and I seen like 2 episodes. It's not bad, but it's not my cup of tea either. But it was not bad. It was pretty decent. But that's the difference between Spanish soaps. So Spanish soaps can get away with lasting longer in their networks because they don't drag the story. They end it. They put a new story in there. And where you see if it is recycled stuff, it's hardly noticeable because they always bring something new. And not all the Spanish soaps are very serious. Some of them are actually comedies. I mean, I was a little surprised. Some of my Spanish friends was laughing at something. I didn't understand what the hell they was laughing, but it looked funny. It was like this kid yelling, and this guy was like trying to tell him, and this kid was screaming, yelling, and everybody was laughing. So that's the difference between that. American soaps, it goes on and on and on with the same concept. Somebody's lying, somebody's deceiving, somebody's dying. Who killed this guy? Who burned that guy? It gets old very fast, especially with the diehard fans. It does get old, but yeah, that was so. That's pretty much my feeling on the idea of why soaps are dying out, because of what I just said, and but basically, most importantly, soaps no longer has that staying power, mainly because the families that I grew up, I was forced to watch soaps. Parents are not doing that anymore, and because cable really much is the primary source for entertainment now, to the point where free TV, they basically have most of the junk stuff now, with the exception of some primetime television. What do you feel about the soaps? That's what I'm going to be much ask. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Please comment below, and give me your best your most memorable soap opera episode. My memorable soap opera episode was the death of Natalie. It was a sad moment because I liked that character. I liked her and Trevor Dillon, when they was together. The crowbar killer scene from All My Children was my classic. I followed that pretty much. A little surprised that it was Eileen Vaughn who made the deaths. But that was one of my memorable. And oh yes, the reunited of Edmund and Maria, and I can never forget this. I got more than a couple of memories of All My Children. Julia and Noah. Everything involving Julia and Noah I watched because they was such great chemistry together. I was sad that Kiefer didn't came back to do to continue on his career in All My Children. But you know what? For what it's worth, he did a magnificent job when he was there. So those are my memories. What's your memory? Will you miss any of these 2 soaps once they get up the air? Please comment, let me know. But until then, you guys, you have a nice week. Talk to you guys soon. Until then, take care.